Hi, I am Disha Shukla and I am going to discuss about the subject mobile computing and wireless communication. The first chapter, that is the introduction to mobile computing. So, what is mobile computing? Mobile computing is a technology that allows transmission of the data, voice and video via a computer or any other wireless enabled device, and that too without having it to be connected to a fixed physical link. It refers to numerous devices that are supportable to access the transmitted data like voice, video and text anytime and anywhere over the wireless network infrastructure. Mobile computing has a wide variety of application, but before moving on to that, let's discuss some of the terms that are used in it. The first one being data. Data is anything that conveys some meaning or information. The next one is signals. Signals are electric or electromagnetic representation of data. The next, transmission. Transmission means communication of the data by propagation and processing of the signals. That is when you transmit some data when you transmit the signals using the data, that is called your transmission. The next is data rate. Data rate is the rate at which a data can be communicated. The next is bandwidth. The bandwidth of a transmitted signal are constrained by the transmitter and the nature of the transmission medium. That is, whenever you pass a signal, its bandwidth will be dependent on the transmitter, that is the antenna that will be used for transmitting it, and the nature of the transmission medium, that is what kind of a transmission medium you are using. The next is noise. Noise is some unwanted signals that are added to your data signals. The last one being error rate. Error rate is the rate at which the error occurs in your communication system. Now a signal is a function of time. It consists of the components of different frequencies, and based on that there are different types of signals. That are analog signals and digital signals, or periodic and aperiodic. Here we also need to understand the relationship between the data rate and the bandwidth. So here the greater the bandwidth, the higher is the information carrying capacity. Hence, any digital waveform will have infinite bandwidth, but the transmission system will limit the bandwidth that can be transmitted. And hence, for any given medium, the greater the bandwidth transmitted, the greater is the cost. However, limiting your bandwidth will create distortion. As you already know, there are two types of signals, that is the digital signal and analog signal. Now the basic difference between them is that an analog signal is a continuously varying electromagnetic wave that propagates over a variety of media depending on the frequencies, whereas a digital signal is a sequence of voltage pulses that may be transmitted over a copper wire. Digital signals are cheaper than analogs and are less susceptible to noise. The other important point that we need to discuss here is about how the analog and digital signals are transmitted. That is, analog signals are transmitted using the codec and digital signals are transmitted using the digital transmitter, etc. The analog transmission, as we already saw, the analog transmission transmits without any regards to the content. That is, what kind of content is there, it does not matter. The attenuation limits the length of your transmission link. Cascading the amplifiers will boost the signal's energy. That is, whenever you are transmitting a signal for a long range, then you need to add amplifiers at different points so that the energy can be boosted. Analog data can tolerate a bit of distortion. The errors can be added in your digital data but not in your analog data. With reference to that digital transmission, it is concerned with the content of the signal. The digital signals will be transmitted using the repeaters for whenever you want to transmit it to a greater distance. It recovers the signals and it can be retransmitted as you have used the repeaters. Now, using the retransmission devices, we are using the retransmission devices rather than the amplifiers in the digital transmission, so that the digital data can be recovered after it has been received at the receiver end. The next important thing that we need to understand here is the channel capacity in the Nyquist band. Now the channel capacity is the maximum rate at which the data can be transmitted. Related to it is the Nyquist band. The Nyquist theorem specifies that a sinusoidal function in time or distance can be regenerated with no loss of information as long as it is sampled at a frequency that is greater than or equal to twice per cycle. The Nyquist rate or the frequency is the minimum rate at which a finite bandwidth signal needs to be sampled to retain all of the information. For a bandwidth of span b, the Nyquist frequency is just 2b. So C is equal to 2b. While with multi-level signaling, C is equal to 2b log m base 2, where m is the number of discrete signals or the voltage levels. Now besides that, we also have Shannon capacity. The Shannon capacity theorem defines the maximum amount of information or data capacity which can be sent over any channel or medium. The Shannon information capacity C has long been used as a measure of goodness of electric communication channel. It specifies the maximum rate at which the data can be transmitted without error if an appropriate code is used. The Shannon theorem states that given a noisy channel with channel capacity C and the information transmitted at a rate R, then if there exists the codes that allows the probability of the error at the receiver to be made arbitrarily small. That is, the channel capacity is directly proportional to the power of the signal, that is signal to noise ratio, that is power of a signal divided by power of noise. Signal to noise ratio can be explained as a ratio of power in a signal to the power contained in the noise present at a particular point in transmission. Typically, the signal to noise ratio is measured at a receiver end. A high signal to noise ratio means a high quality signal and a low number of required intermediate repeaters. Signal to noise ratio sets the upper bound of an achievable data rate. So, for example, a signal to noise ratio of 1000 is commonly expressed as 10 into log 1000 base 10, that is 30 decibels. Now, this is all about the basics of communication. What are the different terms that we use and what are the different signals that we have, etc. Thank you.